tuned for sports.
Keeping Score with Jess and Dean. The Dream.
It is Saturday, March 23rd. We are live at the Oaks Tavern, 103 Duke Street, keeping score. Dean, look at you.
I found the place.
It's not in Cranston.
Well, I had to do a dry run on St. Patty's Day to make sure, but I got it done.
Well, you just go down Queen, and it's right on the corner.
What?
Queen and Duke. Come on, man. I'm very happy that you made it. I love at the beginning of the show, he's like, do I need to use this? I'm like, yes, it's a microphone. We couldn't bring the studio with us, where it was hung up.
Something you use like in a wedding when you do a speech or something.
Yeah.
You know,
have you done speeches at weddings?
Yeah.
You have?
Actually, my friend Mike that just walked in when I was the best man at his wedding.
He was the best man at your wedding?
He couldn't find anybody else.
Oh,
he
boy.
went with me. But
Slim pickings, huh? Yeah.
I thought I was solid. Actually.
Oh, really?
And I winged it. Nothing, like all from memory. Nothing written down.
Oh, that's very
From
good.
the heart.
Yeah. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything that you said?
You'd have to ask Mrs. Pinocchio on that one.
She just said it was 4 hours long. So that was
aggressive and lengthy.
Sometimes you get a little long-winded. Anyway, this is our first adventure. This is our first broadcast out. We want to thank the Oaks Tavern. We want to thank Dave for having us here today. So we're going to have some fun. And full disclosure, we are doing the show. It's March 23rd, so it's Saturday, but we're just airing it on Sunday. But you can find it on YouTube. And I don't know if we should just get into it right now.
Swan song?
Steve, get over here, you jerk.
Yeah, let's get him out of the way before I put him in the bathroom and lock the doors.
So Steve is our producer, and he decided that he was going to move on to bigger and better things. And I can't blame him because he's a very talented guy if you watch any of our YouTube shows. Steve, tell everyone where you're going.
I'm going to PBS Rhode Island.
Very good. And you are going to be doing what?
I'm the access coordinator, so I'm just the guy on site that knows how to work all the equipment and help everybody out.
And that's why he was so good with us, you know?
Yeah.
And it sounds way more impressive. Keeping score producer or PBS access, what?
Coordinator.
Coordinator. That's where
coordinate.
So we appreciate you coming here, and we will be buying you multiple drinks. What is your drink of choice?
I like a Corona.
Oh, okay, good.
That's simple.
They have that,
simple
right?
Guy. They have
Simple
beer.
desires.
So here's the thing. If anything, obviously we wish you the best, and we want everything to work out. But if it doesn't, you can come back, okay?
I'll call you if it doesn't work out.
Okay, very good. I still have your key fob in my pocket.
Oh, yes.
All right,
Give that to
You
Brian.
know, technically he created he came up with the idea for the YouTube. So
Right.
technically, I mean, we're letting him off the hook because technically he should at least have to find the next guy.
Right.
But we'll figure that out as time, as this thing evolves. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm not giving up on that venture. I think it was a wonderful thing, and I hate to see it go by the wayside.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't want to give up on that venture because he's so good with technology. So I'm sure.
I never mentioned doing any of it myself, but I find someone out and delegate. That's how we roll here.
It's going to be big money now at this point. So, Steve, we just wanted to thank you, and then we will have your Coronas waiting for you. Absolutely. We're just going to line. You can start drinking now if you want.
I can do it now. Okay. All right, maybe.
Yeah, all right, good. Thank you, Steve. But we obviously the regular show with a lot of the audio, we're not going to have that today. We're just going to have background audio of some of the coolest people that work here. We're going to have Dave in. Mama G's here. Jess is here. This is we got a crowd going, so don't mess up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Don't mess up.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do?
Botching it over here.
But we're excited to be here. We got the games on. So obviously, this is your favorite time of year because you're all about the madness.
It's the best 3 weeks of the year. I've
Yeah.
said that before. And
Yeah.
being like a multi-sports guy, but I think these 3 weeks are the best. And of course, we talk about it all the time. You see the teams with the bubbles and bursting, and teams that are heartbroken, and teams that you just never see. You don't even know where they're from.
Right.
You saw
I know.
Grand Canyon last night. You know, a 12 seed beat the 5, which always happens. A 12 always beats the 5.
As long as you pick the right one.
But and you've seen some of the blue blood programs go down really quick. Coach Callen, we'll get into all that in our college segment. But it's fun to be here as we're looking up, seeing Arizona up 15 on Dayton in the second round of the NCAA tournament.
I know. I get more points for that. I get 3 points for a win. So let's get it going.
Definitely pools and bets.
I know. I could win $400. So I mean, that's the thing. And we actually have Godson made some picks. So make sure you check out our not YouTube, our Instagram. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. So do you want to start the show? Want to get into the NFL? I'm just going to pretend the music is there. Dun, 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 dun. All right. We're talking. We're live from the Oaks Tavern. The NFL. All right. So here's the thing. I was listening this week to a lot of people are down on the Patriots, and I'm not as down on them as I was last year. I think they could pull off 7 wins.
Okay.
What do you I feel like the defense is the same. We'll have two players that are actually good players coming back, and the defense was good even without them. We just don't have an offense. And do you think that they're gonna trade up number 3?
Well, we were talking about how positive like Mama G is, and there's always pie in the sky. I think that's the way you're referring to the Pats here. You're the eternal optimist on this one because, obviously they won 4 last year. It would only be a 3-game jump. You'd like to think that there will be improvement with a new regime, and it's, you're pretty much gutting the cupboard here. I mean, they kept the defense together,
right?
Re-signing pretty much everybody. And I love when they say, they're going to run it back. You don't really run back 4 and 13 teams, but they've tried to make some adjustments on offense. They've, took some swings in free agency and whiffed. Trying to get Calvin Ridley, didn't want to come
they
to
don't want to pay
New England.
money.
Mike Williams was waived. He just got picked up by the Jets. That's a great move for Panak's Jets because, if Rodgers is healthy, he's got some weapons to throw the ball to. But
and not as much pressure because there's so many good players on the Jets
and
right
I think
now.
the Pats settle for like second and third guys, like KJ Osborne, who came over from Minnesota.
Jeffrey Osborne is playing for the Patriots.
What?
On the wings of love.
That's too much here at the tavern. But no, I mean, there's a guy that's not going to really, he's not going to make the difference on the team, but he could be a guy that could, be a nice third receiver behind Bourne. And, unfortunately, Schuster's still there. Parker's been jettisoned out, so there's been some moves made. And there's still a lot that can happen. And then I've said it before, Jess, the Pats have to hit it out of the park in the draft. And you just mentioned earlier about the whole possibility of trading out of 3. And I've told you before, you're only going to get so many cracks at it. You've seen the Jets the last few years, with Sam Darnold, bust. Of course, Zach Wilson, they got another crack at it, bust. So, you just don't know. It's not an exact science, but I believe at 3, you're only going to get so many chances to draft that high. I want the quarterback at 3, whether it's Daniels or May. I prefer Drake May.
All right, so Drake May, but you liked Daniels before.
I do. I like his athleticism. I'm a little skeptical about the body. But there's been rumors this week. We talked about, I know you and I mentioned it earlier in the week, about possibly trading down and getting more assets. There's some teams in that middle, from 10 to 15, take the Minnesota Vikings. They're loading up. They've made a couple of trades. They're looking to get up in the draft. Kevin O'Connell loves Drake May. So if they want to get up and get a Drake May, if the Pats don't like him the way I was hoping they would, maybe they don't. Maybe they trade down. But now you're looking at a scenario where you get more players, and then you're looking at maybe a Bo Nix or a J.J. McCarthy.
Oh, I don't want that.
And I'm out on those guys.
Yeah.
So it's a lot going on. But Minnesota needs a quarterback, as most teams are starting to put their rosters together. You saw Justin Fields go for a bag of balls last week to Pittsburgh for a 6th-round pick.
I know.
And they got him and Russell, and they got him cheap. So, I mean, they traded Kenny Pickett he's out of town. He went to Philadelphia. So guys are moving all over the place. There's a lot of moves still to be made.
Do you think, so say we get May, right? Do you think as a college athlete, they'll be excited to come to the Patriots? So you think Drake May is just like, I want to go somewhere else because they know that the Patriots are up there. I just don't know anybody that is excited about being on the team.
I think, to be honest with you, Jess, a lot of these guys, I mean, it depends on how well off maybe your families are and stuff, because I think most of these kids, they're not worried about how bad the franchise may be as you smile, because I think it's all about, I want to go as high as possible. That's more money. It's a better contract. Of course, anybody wants to go number 1, and it looks like it's going to be Caleb Williams, barring anything unforeseen. He's going to go to the Bears at 1. As far as Daniels and May, that's a coin flip on that one. I'm just hoping he lands to the Pats at 3.
All right. A lot of people saying left tackle.
Yeah.
Would you be? I would lose my mind if that's who went number 3 and that's who they pick. I'm gonna be like, there's no pizzazz, there's no spotlight, there's nothing good about that.
I mean, anybody could argue with me on what the 3 top positions are in football. Obviously, it's quarterbacks 1.
Yeah.
I say quarterback, wide receiver, and it is left tackle. You look at that
It
position.
is?
It is. It's important if you don't have anybody on that side, unless you draft a left-handed quarterback and then you want the right tackle. You know what I'm saying?
The blind side.
The other, yeah. So but now on Wenyu, they say he's going to play right tackle. So they gave him 3 years, $57 million to bring him back. So that's a nice piece for the line. It's a good move by the Patriots, but they're going to need a lot of help. I don't think they'll go offensive tackle.
Okay.
The kid from Penn State, Alt, is terrific, and Fashion's the other guy. There's 2 guys that are real studs. They're going to go in the top 10. Again, if the Pats were to get more assets and make a trade, then that could interest the Patriots. I'm not sure, but you got your guy Jacoby Brissett. You wanted him, and you got him.
I like him. You know what? And I think he's going to surprise you.
No, I told you he's terrific to win 5 games.
Keep your mic a little closer to your mouth.
What's aggressive?
It's like an ice cream cone.
Want me to straddle it?
No. Well, I don't know. Between you trying to stab people last week with your knives and now you're straddling microphones. I'm just saying, I don't want to be louder. Just look at the levels, bro. I forget what we were talking about.
Talking about the Pats and the offensive line.
Yeah, I know, but
putting it back together.
I like Jacoby Brissett because I just think he can surprise you. I think he can run. I know he's a little bit older. I just feel like he'll start 7, and then if they do get Drake May, they'll put him in for the rest of the season. But it depends on if they're winning.
Yeah. So I hate to go backwards, but I actually happened to be at one of his starts for the Pats back in 2016, and it was the Brady.
He was younger and he didn't have as much experience.
Well, it was the Brady suspended year.
Yes,
okay,
he won.
And he most certainly did not win.
Oh.
Okay, he did come in and he came in for Garoppolo, I think, and helped win a game.
Yes.
But then he started the game against Buffalo. I was at that game. That was I think the last game of the suspension for Brady, the fourth
Yeah, it's the
game,
fourth.
and they got blanked. And it wasn't like he didn't even try to score. I was at the game, and I think Rex Ryan was coaching Buffalo at the time. It was his brief stint with the Bills, and of course he always thinks he got over on the Pats, but it was Jacoby Brissett. I mean, he's a manager. He's not gonna get you over the hump, but he knows the system, and he's a good guy to have. He's good in the locker room. He's good for a younger player, and he could be a good mentor, probably for a Jaden Daniels if it turns out to be Daniels. I hope it's May.
All right, and then what else around the league? Is there anyone that you want to talk about?
Yeah, Jess. Of course, I want to congratulate Aaron Donald on a great career. The defensive tackle, 10 years with the LA Rams, Super Bowl champion, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. There's really probably nobody better, and he was undersized at that position. Nobody did it better than him. We've heard rumors the last 3 or 4 years that he's been looking to kind of pack it in. And he just said he just doesn't have the drive anymore, and he gets out with his health. 32 years old.
He's still walking. Yeah, that's
yeah,
plus.
he can still walk. 10 years. This guy was eight times first team All Pro. Of course, again, as I said, Super Bowl winner and a 10-time Pro Bowler. And he was defensive. He was Rookie of the Year in 2014. The accolades are amazing. He got his Super Bowl ring, and he's getting out with his health. So I want to congratulate him on a great career. He'll be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, easy.
Hall of Fame first ballot. I want to shift over to one trade. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I told you how some of these guys that get franchised can still get traded. Well, I told you L'Jarius Sneed did get moved.
He did?
He got signed. They tagged him and then they moved him. I told you this.
Where is he now?
They got traded to the Titans. The Titans,
They're actually looking good.
You look at their moves. They get a top-notch cornerback.
Yep.
And they obviously got Ridley from Jacksonville, so they made a move on offense, a move on defense. Levis has got some players to go with there. Hopkins a little long in the tooth, but he goes to Tennessee for a 3rd and a 7th, and it looks like they're going to give him a 4-year extension. The numbers haven't been announced yet, but really good things going on there for Tennessee. Sneed's a terrific cornerback.
But remind me, who's now the coach of the Titans?
They got one of the coordinators, I think, from the Rams.
Coordinators. That's like drink every time. We're at a bar. Drink every time.
Yeah.
Every time we say coordinate,
He'll be
drink.
looped. But I think it's a kid Callahan. He's going to do a nice job there. But Vrabel took a job as like the Cleveland Browns coordinator of video, as we're coordinating again.
No.
Drink.
We said coordinate. Drink. No, he
He
is.
got some job as like
As a like that, I've never even heard that was a real position.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing some of the titles these guys
Steve's
get.
title is bigger than that. Steve's title, PBS is bigger than
For about
Mike
another
Vrabel.
50 minutes. Oh, you mean his new title?
Yeah, not the one we have. That was crap.
I would have lost them.
I can't even believe he's the one that came to us and asked for it. Well, that was something else.
Well, we got him to watch the Bronx deal.
Yeah, we did. I mean,
Solid.
if there's anything that we really changed your life, yeah, that was pretty much the only thing that Steve learned from us from the last 3-4 months.
We had a good run. We had a good run.
And we'll always remember Dean because you have a DVD that doesn't even hit full screen because it's not a Blu-ray, but it's forever. Oh. Yeah, we may lock him in the bathroom though, so that would be good.
Desperate times over here with keeping score.
All right, so I am going to look in the sportsbook app, but if I find it in the Patriots, if the win, because last year they're not going to win more than 7 games, and I won $22. So this time, I think they are going to win over 7, and I feel as though another 10 bones will be made on that, and I think I'm going to make some money.
I have a very, very close friend in the building that's kind of privy to this stuff. So if the odds are already out, he would know. If I'm going to guess, and I don't
bring him over.
I don't gamble, but
We'll do it.
I
Come
want
on.
no part of it. I'm going to guess they're at like 5.5. I mean, they're bad. Okay.
Oh, he hasn't looked. All right.
No, he's focused. All right, so he's focused on Arizona, Dayton right now.
No, he's focused on his Miller Lite. I think that's where
that
he's
too.
focused on.
That too. He can hoist those with the best of them. But it's all good. He's looking at the Dayton, Arizona game as we're in round 2 of the NCAA tournament here. Oh, see, he's got the spread 9 already.
Well, I'd like that. I would take that. Does he do shots? Does he do Jackfire with his beer? No.
Well,
is it too early?
The funny thing is that we're bouncing around here. Arizona was an early exit from the tournament last year. Tommy Lloyd's a great coach, but they need to get off the schneid and win a couple of games. As you saw Coach Cal get ousted by Oakland. I thought those were the Raiders, but they have a college
I didn't
basketball
even know.
team.
Was
A lot
it
right there.
Oakland State? No, just Oakland.
Just
That's
Oakland.
it. We have no clue about that. All right, so is there anything else that
No,
you would
we're
like to
putting a bow
add
on
for
football.
All right, very good. Once again, reminding everybody we're at the Oaks Tavern, 103 Duke Street in East Greenwich. It is one of the oldest taverns in the world, well, at least in the state. 1894, I believe. So they're keeping with it. They got the pups in. Dave brought his doggies in. They're
Dave's
the
got
cutest.
the pooches. Yeah.
There's the cutest babies I've ever seen, and that
He's rocking the swag.
Yeah, I like that. Now he's
now
watching
he's
it.
like camping out. You
No.
want to see? Yep.
Nope. Now he's just like, has he even listened to our show?
He doesn't have to. He sponsors us. That's all I care about. He doesn't have to listen. He did hit me up on Facebook, though. We're buddies now, officially.
good.
Yeah. So he's going to hit you up.
Yeah,
So.
maybe you should hit up with having a Facebook page for the Oaks Tavern, but that's okay. That's what makes it charming. I love
like,
it.
"What?"
Well, hopefully we can get the dogs on in screen at some point.
Pork Chop's home alone right now.
He would not get along. These dogs are way too good.
Pork Chop doesn't play with others.
No, he really doesn't. He doesn't play with animals, adults. It's terrible.
Aggressive. right
Dave, do you
there.
want to come in and say hi quick? Do you want to say hi? All right, not at the moment. He has to have a couple shots.
Not at the moment. Like, the show's an hour. Like, what do you think? This is an all-day affair over here. But
The dogs. All right. Well,
that's solid.
all right. So we're done with the NFL. We're going to move on to the NBA. I will say this. I watched two of the games from the Celtics this week. I know Tatum was out for one of them. Then he played against the Bucks, and I'm just like, all right, the spread is 16 against the Bucks, and Giannis is not even playing. All right, so you get Dame Lillard in there. I'm like, don't worry. Like, we actually started to watch another show because they were up by so many. I'm like, oh, they'll cover the spread. Would they win by 4? It was like 122, 119.
Yes. Yeah,
So what's going on with that?
Portis got a late and one. If he missed the free throw, if he made that free throw, it would have been one. It would have been a one-possession game. I don't know what the Celtics do in the fourth quarter of games. Jason Tatum was 1 for 6 in this game in the fourth quarter.
Really?
He starts hoisting long-range shots.
Really?
That's when you go to the basket and you go hard. But they've got glue guys like Bobby Portis, who had a big game for Milwaukee, even playing in the place of the Greek Freak. And you got guys like Pat Beverly, who I said was on a banana peel, but he gives them
he was good.
He gives them toughness, and the Celtics just seem to. And even though the Celtics won the game, we're looking at the playoffs and we're saying, you know what, you get in a series with Milwaukee, you better be careful because they got pedigree and they've been there before.
And they didn't have their best player.
Yeah, and I know Doc Rivers comes up short, but I thought Milwaukee played a good game and they didn't quit. And the Celtics played down to the level of what Milwaukee had that night and made that a game. It was very disappointing. And I know they had a couple of games during the week, Jess. They had one, I believe, last night and earlier in the week against Detroit. They're the doormat of the league. So obviously you play a couple of teams like that or a team like that, you may be let down against a team like Milwaukee who could give you some problems in the playoffs.
Right, and it's just another example. You won, but you probably didn't deserve to win. And it wasn't like Tatum was out. By the way, I love Porzingis. I don't care. Porzingis is the guy.
Your guy, I told you that when
I am
coming in.
off of Brown and Tatum.
Yeah.
I don't care. Zingis is getting. I'm gonna get a Zingis
Oh, we're
shirt.
zinging it over here.
I like the Zingis, but I thought he is. He just doesn't complain. He doesn't whine after every single call like the other two.
But he's also a matchup nightmare. I've been telling you this. At 7'3", you were telling me, well, he was hitting threes last week. You said, I said, how about down on the interior? Just give him the ball. Who's going to stop him down there? I mean, he just shoots right over people.
Yeah.
He's so big.
I know.
You know what I mean? So, but the Celtics had 56-14, winners of 8 straight. They're running away with the East. And, obviously one good sign, Jess, with some of the injuries and guys sitting out. Holiday's got a couple of breaks in there somewhere. Pritchard had,
He stepped up.
19 and he had a 20-point game. So he had 39 points in 2 games. And against Washington Sunday, as I was here watching it at the Oaks Tavern with Dave, okay?
Do you remember?
Had a couple of J fires. But Sam Hauser had 30 in that game. He hit 10 threes and then hurt his ankle, but he's okay. He came back and played last night and he hit double figures.
Horrible white shoes. Yeah.
He's been pretty good. Oh, it's all about the kicks.
It really. I mean, shouldn't it be? We should have our. Oh.
Our old
I
sneaker
just
team?
thought of that. I
What?
just thought of that. We're gonna have our own shoes.
What?
I'm gonna
Keep and score kicks?
Yeah.
Oh, we got to get a couple more sponsors
I like that.
then. If I gotta
Keep and score kicks. No, just
Get-
for us.
Oh,
Just
all
for
right,
us.
okay.
Mama G, Jess, Steve will get a complimentary pair. They're like it would be like $150.
This is
Yeah.
a lot here.
I would be interested in to see you in dunks, like Jordans. I would.
Well, you see, like you know my shoe wear at this
I
point.
know. I
mean,
don't know. You're not gonna find them comfortable, but it's not about comfort. It's about the look.
The look. Huh?
So, all right, keeping score kicks. Put that on there. See, Steve, you're leaving at a terrible time. We're developing shoe wear now.
This is a lot right
You
here.
silly guy. He gets 5 weeks vacation, by the way. That's another thing.
It's
like
unbelievable.
this guy's living the dream. I think he submitted like all the work he did for our show, and they're like, PBF was like, we got to hire this guy. He
don't
makes
blame
them
him.
look good. That's something. He's a miracle maker.
It's really something.
We're live at the Oaks Tavern, 103 Duke Street in East Greenwich. It's the oldest pub in Rhode Island. Is there anything else? Let's keep going. We're talking about the NBA. Is there anything else that you want to add?
Just wrap it up with the Western Conference, Jess. You got those teams that are starting to really get bottled up with about 20 games to go. You've got Dallas, the number 6 seed. You got Golden State, the 10 seed right now. They'd be in the play-in tournament, and there's 3 teams in between there. You got Phoenix, Sacramento, and LA. 4.5 games separate those 5 teams. So there's still a lot that can happen as far as posturing and getting better seeds in the playoffs. Nobody wants to be in that 10 or 9 in that play-in type thing. You want to be, you want to be a 4 or 5 seed. You want to be up there higher. So the games still matter, and it's going to be fun down the stretch as we get ready. We start thinking about the playoffs. I've told you before, you want to see Golden State and the Lakers, even though they're chasing it right now. You want to see those teams in postseason.
Do you think that, for example, Golden State and the Lakers, are they the Kansas City Chiefs of basketball right now? Like they're just kind of like, they got nothing, and then when you have to step up, that's when they do, and they really... I
like the analogy. I just think it's a little harder in football in basketball because you had to play multiple series. Where in football, still, even though Kansas City, they did turn it on. They only had to win 3 or 4 games to win the whole thing. Where you'd have to win, they're all 7-game series. You're just looking at a lot more
money.
It's just a lot more money. But no, the Lakers did it last year. They chased, and they ended up in the Western Conference Finals versus Joker. Came up a little short, but so it can happen. It's just that's a lot of work when you're down there. And of course, we all know the Miami Heat did it.
Right.
They made it to the finals.
Right.
So it can happen. It's just, nobody's really finished the job.
Well, everyone's going on full cylinders, especially. Yeah. How many more games? Like, when does playoffs start?
Well, the Celtics played 70, so I'm wrong. It's less than that. So you're 56 and 14. So they've only got 12 games left.
Wow.
Yeah. So it starts closing out. I'm not, like you said a couple of weeks ago, I'm fine with Porzingis not playing every game. Rest. He's your ticket, I think. I think he's the guy that puts you over the top. I think Holiday and Porzingis are tremendously overrated, and we didn't throw Derek White in there. What a season he's had.
Oh, my God. He's excellent. But like you said last week, he's probably going to get his way out of there because he's playing too good.
Somebody's got to go. You just can't keep them all.
Yeah. All right. That kind of wrapping up our NBA.
Yes.
We're going to thank our sponsors, and then we're going to come back. We're live at the Oaks Tavern, 103 Duke Street in East Greenwich. We're surprisingly not sitting exactly at the bar because that's usually our MO. So we're restraining ourselves for another 40 minutes where we can't drink.
DTs?
DTs?
Little shakes? I mean,
no, seriously. Seriously. I'm just like, it's so close, but yet so far away. I need to focus on work. All right, we're going to thank our sponsors, and we're going to be right back.
Keeping score with Jess and Dean the Dream, sponsored by
Generations Adult Day Health Center. Generations is a day facility in Smithfield that provides services to meet the needs of adults with disabilities and the elderly. Their staff provides a range of adult day health services, such as case management, nursing, healthcare, nutrition, and more. At Generations, you're taken care of with registered nurses, certified nursing assistants, and plenty of direct care support staff on the floors at all times. With nearly 30,000 square feet of space, the state-of-the-art facility includes an open dining room, spacious physical and occupational therapy suites, a fully equipped gym and exercise room, and a TV movie theater, just to name a few. To find out more, visit generationsri.com. That's generationsri.com. Prout Mechanical in Providence, a family-owned and operated business. They provide HVAC installations, replacements, and maintenance services. They also offer indoor quality services to make sure that your home remains healthy and safe. They have licensed and trained technicians to keep up with industry standards and technology. They're also an authorized Mitsubishi Electric Diamond Elite contractor, so they can provide the best heating and cooling solutions. So get in touch with them today. Visit ProutHVAC.com. That's ProutHVAC.com, or call them at 487-4343 for a free estimate. It's the hidden gem in the historic district of East Greenwich, the Oaks Tavern on Duke Street, a laid-back, welcoming atmosphere with some of the lowest drink prices in town. Described as a grade A dive bar, complete with free pool, a jukebox, air hockey, and a great place to meet after work. It's a place where the staff treats everyone like regulars, and regulars treat you like family. Visit the last hometown tavern in East Greenwich. Check out the Oaks Tavern, serving cold beer since 1896.
And we're back live from the Oaks Tavern, 103 Duke Street. Dave, why are you walking away? Just come in. This is your spot, man. Come and get on.
You have to see something.
You have to come in.
Thank you guys for coming.
Yes.
It's been fun, and I'm going to enjoy it.
All right, good. What's the doggy's
I'm happy
names
with
again?
So we got, eventually we're going to get them in the picture.
Yes.
That's Lily over there, and Lucky to your left.
Lily and Lucky.
They look like twins. They are so cute. I love them so much.
Yeah, they're good dogs. They're
Maybe,
good dogs.
maybe if I can't find a co-host, I'll use Lucky.
That's aggressive. Get replaced by Lucky or Lily or both.
They both drool the same, so I.
Oh, that's graphic.
So once again, we're live. It is Saturday, actually, March 23rd. We're doing the show live here, and I want to once again thank our sponsor, Dave, and the Oaks Tavern. But we're moving on to do what?
I had a couple of bad nights. Maybe I did drool. I don't know. I'm not sure.
You can't. It's not 100%. It's very possible. So we're going to be talking about the MLB, Major League Baseball. What is going on? I know before we talk about anything else, what's going on with Ohtani?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten all the facts yet. You're trying to dive into this story a little bit. It sounds like, there's a gambling allegation, and it's not obviously towards him right now, but he's linked to it if it's his interpreter, which I guess has been fired now. But there's $4.5 million missing somewhere, or it came out of Ohtani's account, and there's
wire transfers going on.
But Jess, this is like the whole Pete Rose thing all over again. I mean, it's not the same thing, but it's like this is a big thing. And now, if you ask me right now, the way this thing's going to shake out, MLB is going to do everything they can to brush this sucker under the rug, because here's a guy who just got $700 million to go play for the. I mean, they're banking on Ohtani to save baseball right now between what he can do internationally and here in the U.S. It's a developing story. We're going to keep track of it, but this is a probe. I mean, they're talking massive theft.
Yeah.
That's the quote that I saw.
He said that he had friends that he had to take care of. I'm like, well, wow, you're a pretty nice friend. Just giving them $4 million. Like, there's something.
Okay.
There's something weird, and I don't know if I believe. I don't know if he was taken advantage of, perhaps, or he knows what he's doing and thought he could get away with it. It just seems a little obvious. So maybe it was him being naive. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I hope that's what it is, because if he's linked to it and he's got something to do and is gambling on his end,
right,
then we've got a problem here.
But by the way, how about him hitting that home run, like smashing the 119 miles per hour? He is an unbelievable
Wasn't
player.
the 119 like a foul ball?
It was a foul ball.
I mean, come on, we got to hear about his foul balls.
Well, it broke the roof.
It's scaff.
Why is that
I don't care. Put the ball in play. Put it between the lines.
I wish I had thrown curveballs in there, because this is where I would hit the drop.
Have the bed or the library with her. I'd get killed now.
We're very basic today.
I have to make
in more ways than one.
I have to make a decision soon. The team wants to do new alternative uniforms, hats or something, but I got to make sure I'm committed. I don't know, or I might get committed.
Yeah.
I don't know yet. But
well, the way you were talking about it, you were all about it. So I feel like you should be.
Well, no, I was all about the possibility of moving up to the 50s. This is the 40s team if I would decide to stay. I guess they're willing to take me back.
They're willing to take. You're not going to be cut. They're like 1, 2. He has a nice personality. If I go to Antonio's, he'll give me free drinks. 3.
Again, I don't think the future of the Somerset Braves hinges on my performance. So we'll see how it all plays out. But
well, at least that's the performance we're not worried
we
about.
are also going to see how it plays out with Ohtani. We're going to keep track of that, Jess. I do want to say something. Godson picked the kid Jackson Holiday, who's going to be a terrific ball player. He's a son of Matt Holiday, former major leaguer. But Godson picked him as the rookie of the year. And I think I told you this a few weeks ago. I love the pick because I love the player, but I don't actually like the pick now because I didn't think he would make the opening day roster. And he has been sent to the minor leagues for a little more seasoning.
Oh.
I told you the kid Gunnar Henderson, and you laughed about the name, but Gunnar Henderson's the shortstop right now. Eventually, when Holiday gets a little more seasoning at AAA, he'll come up, and then Henderson will move to third. The Orioles are loaded with young players now at Rushman behind the plate, so just keep an eye on that. He may not win the Rookie of the Year this year, but there's a kid that's going to be the next great shortstop, along with the guys like Bobby Witt and those kind of young players in the game today.
I was very confused this week because the Dodgers played, and it was just like beginning of the season, here we come, and they played 2 games, and then they came home. So they did this away. Where were they?
North Korea, I believe.
Oh, that's a fun spot. So, and then they come home
and play
to
more
do
games that
practice
don't count.
games.
I just don't like it.
How?
It's-
Why are you splitting it up?
Yeah.
I don't get that.
I'm a baseball purist. I hate it. I feel like once you play a game that counts, all your games count from there, and you
Right.
don't go backwards and play. But they've been doing this quietly for a few years now. That game was on. I woke up at like 6, and the game was on. It was 5 o'clock on ESPN.
Oh, that's good. Awesome programming.
Well, back in the day, I used to come in at 5. I got some friends that are here right now that can attest to that. But no, it was when you want to get ready for the season, you get all amped up, and then all of a sudden, like you said, now you got another week of games that don't matter. So
Yeah.
obviously, the season starts obviously in a few days. It's kind of a mixed bag. It's not what it used to be. I was always of sound mind. You always had the Sunday night baseball game, maybe on ESPN, and then the next day, that Monday, everybody plays.
Yeah.
That was opening day. The Cincinnati Reds always played the first. They had the earliest game. They threw out the first pitch. It was always the Reds. So that's when baseball was pure. But now it's about money, and it's a big thing when they're trying to get global and international. It's just that's probably the reason for it.
Do you think that was part of the problem with Ohtani because he went there and like the interpreter was probably like, oh, we got stuff
wow.
going. I don't know. It just seems weird that they're in North Korea and then stuff goes down.
Yeah, and obviously the shift gears. I told you they signed the best. The Dodgers also signed his buddy, the best Japanese pitcher, Yamamoto.
Yeah.
He got rocked.
I know. Was it
One
the
inning, he
first
got
inning?
laced. He gave up a 5 spot, like
Yeah.
you read about. So, like, obviously, he better stop making the adjustment with that little split finger fastball. They start laying off it. They start hitting the cheddar down the middle. So, but the Dodgers will be fine.
Yeah.
They got a ton of talent there. Mookie's playing shortstop now.
Yeah,
Guy's
right. You told me that.
amazing. Guy's off the charts.
What else we got in baseball? Oh, I do want to say Kurt Schilling. So they're going to honor Tim Wakefield and his wife. And they're also, I guess, doing the anniversary of them winning the World Series. Kurt Schilling, obviously, being a very important player for that team. But he decided that he's not going to go to that game.
Really?
Yeah, he said he declined. And I feel like that was probably a good move for him, surprisingly, that he actually said no to it, because I think it would have outshined the fact that he was the person that exposed that Tim Wakefield was sick.
True, but it always seems to be about him. We're talking about him, but it always seems like he gets into the news
Yeah,
for
but,
something other. I know you're not a big fan of his.
No.
And I don't think many people are.
No, and I'm surprised that that's what he actually didn't agree to
Yeah,
go, because
right.
I mean, obviously he was a big part of
Yeah.
that team. So I'm glad, because
20
I don't want to see his face.
20 years
Yeah.
since 04.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, 20-year anniversary.
2024.
Yeah.
Do you remember where you were?
I do.
Where?
What?
Oh, wow.
What, when they won the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I think I was at Shock's Bar and Grill.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I would think that for that game, them
I
winning
would be
after
like
so
in
long.
my
yeah.
living room with nobody else
Yeah.
around me. Yeah, I don't know what put me out at that point. Well, don't forget, they
I bet I have some ideas of what would you have done.
aggressive. There's people around. No,
Yeah, I know, that's
no,
the
that
best.
particular night, don't forget, it wasn't a clincher. Well, it was a clincher if they won, and they did win. But if they had lost, they were up 3-0.
Right.
So they were running the table. It wasn't Game 7 where all right, this ends it tonight.
Yeah.
I probably would have been a little more nervous if they had lost that game. I knew they had 3 more, and obviously it was never over till it was over with the Sox after 86 years of futility.
Mm.
But yeah, that was a great moment in Red Sox history to beat the Cardinals. It was great. Well, to beat the Yankees after being down 0-3.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what started
All right.
it all. I'm sorry, our sponsor
Anyway, what's
our
going
sponsor is a Yankee fan, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that, Dave.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Yeah, he comes in the restaurant trying to pepper me with trivia. It's kind of lame, but whatever. Yeah.
Wait, Dave, who's your favorite player?
Yeah, he's like, I don't have a favorite player.
I haven't seen anybody in the new team, the 2024 team, so we'll see where that goes.
Just say Aaron Judge and call it a day.
You go Soto at this point.
Yeah, we got to see him.
They just bought so many good players, so
Yeah.
we got to see.
Yeah.
Even, who came from the Red Sox there?
Verdugo.
I like Dude.
Verdugo. I'd like to see what he does for the Yankees now.
He cut the lettuce too.
You gotta look clean.
You got to look
That's
clean.
what I
You
like.
got to look the pot if
That's
you're going
what
to be a
gotta
Yankee.
do.
You got to look the pot.
I'm a baby. Oh my God, these dogs are so cute. We're gonna put them all over our.
Just getting close to the mic over here.
We may at some point, Steve, have to do a B shot to the dogs. Maybe actually we do that when we do over the commercials or something like that. Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm glad we're just talking about this as the show's going on.
All right, this is where you asked me, do you have anything else on baseball
Yes,
before
I
we
do.
move on?
Yes.
All right, so there was a free agent signing, Jess, and I've been talking about this guy all off season. The 2 pitchers that were still on the market, Jordan Montgomery's still out there, and I don't understand why. Boston, there's the fit right there. 4 or 5 year deal. You can grab him and grab a proven starter who helped the Rangers win the World Series. He's still out there. Boris, I don't get it. But Blake Snell did sign. He went to the San Francisco Giants, 2 years, $66 million. This is a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, and I don't know why he was out there so long, but he gets a short deal for big money. He's had some off years. He's had
Is it medical stuff,
I mean,
maybe?
I don't trust him. He's
Okay.
not. He's not a guy I'd invest in long term.
You wouldn't have drinks with him at a bar?
Well, I didn't say I wouldn't. I wouldn't hoist a couple of suds with him, but I just don't think I'd invest big money in him. Because I think San Fran likes the deal for them. He gives them a top of the line rotation guy, but he doesn't give you a ton of innings. He won the Cy Young with an ERA very low, 2.21 last year. He was, I think, 14-9. A lot of walks, a lot of strikeouts, which is why not a lot of innings.
Okay.
So he kind of taxes your bullpen. He's good for 5 or 6 innings.
So who else do we have? Was that just the only major one?
Yeah,
that
well, by the way, J.D. Martinez did sign. I was talking about him
Oh,
not
good.
having a
I'm glad.
roster.
Where is he going?
Another 1-year deal for, I think he got $12 million to be the designated hitter for the New York Mets this
That's
year.
it?
So he's going to the Mets, and he's going right to minor league camp because he's behind the 8 ball now. He wouldn't be ready if the season started today. So, I mean, yeah, JD, listen, he's been getting 1 or 2 year deals all the way here. He's getting a little long in the tooth. He's one-dimensional. He doesn't play the field, so you're getting just a stick out of him. But he did have 33 homers and over 100 RBIs last year, and he made the All-Star team with the Dodgers. But Dodgers were loaded up. They pretty much cut bait with him.
Yeah, then I don't think that he was needed for that.
You put him in that lineup with the Mets with Alonso and Francisco Lindor. That gives them a nice little big 3. That's not a bad lineup. Their problem's going to be pitching. The Mets are going to have a long summer, it looks like.
Well, maybe he can learn how to pitch. Is there anything else
No
you want?
shot.
You want to talk about anything else around the Major League Baseball,
No.
or do you want to go to the NHL? Which honestly, like, when we came in here, someone was just saying like, "Oh, I know everything. I love hockey," and then you're like, "Yeah, we don't really do much about it. We don't really cover much."
Way to
Bruins,
kill the buzz
they-
for the clientele here at the Oaks Tavern, but
We just we let them know early.
No,
Okay.
but you know what it is? You know what it is, Jess, with the Bruins? It's getting frustrating now. And you and I have been saying this for about 2 months about them looking tired and starting to like lose their energy because of all these overtime games, I
Yeah.
believe. Now they still have 97 points. They're 41-15. Nothing to be ashamed of.
No,
but they got rocked by the Rangers. They're gonna have to see them soon. They may play the Maple Leafs in the first round, another gag team that can't get out of their own way when it gets to the postseason.
Yep.
So the Bruins right now are just sort of like, I mean, Swayman got pulled the other night. I don't like the way they're playing. They look tired. And Montgomery, he snuffed it. So he's against what I'm saying right now. He said we shouldn't be tired. Now, it doesn't mean you're not tired. That's his job to make sure that all the guys are rested in the stamina and all that. But these long games and these overtime games, 15 of them, they add up.
So what's with Swayman and was it Elmark, right?
Yeah, Olmark's the one that wanted to be Knicks to trade every time. So nobody wants him there, but he's saying, no, I'm staying. You're stuck with me.
But they're still sticking with
The
switch.
platoon goalie, yeah. Yeah.
So wouldn't you do, if someone's hot, wouldn't you just keep them in there the
Yes.
entire time? But they
Yes.
don't do that.
No.
So someone's playing great, and they like. Isn't this what all the other hockey teams do? Right?
Other teams do the platoon system.
They do?
Yeah, there's other teams that do it. So they got the two-headed goalie. Just like you see in the NFL now, you always have the two-headed running back. It's divvied up a lot. But I believe still, I'm not worried about hurting anybody's feelings. You're trying to win a Stanley Cup. I get to the playoffs. If I see right off the bat that whoever plays that first game, if he's hot, I'm rolling with him.
Okay.
And I know you probably say to me, well, wait a minute, you did it all year. You
Right,
went,
and then why would you
And now all of a
switch?
sudden you switch it on. I'm trying to win a cup. I'm not worried about if I want to go against the grain, go against the analytics, go against the. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to win games.
I understand that, but then they're going to say if you don't win and you do stick with the hot goalie and you lose, they're going to be like, well, that's because he needed more rest because they're going to go no matter what way you do it until you win. That's it.
Yeah, right. But he took too long to pull Olmark last year during that
Yes.
round 1, and it backfired on him because he probably settled with like, this is how I've been doing it. I've stuck with my guy. This is his game. No, you do what you have to do to win. On the fly, you got to change it up. I'm sorry. It's different. Same, just like the rules in hockey. You have overtime during the season. You don't have overtime in the playoffs. The rules change. Everything has to change. Your mindset has to change. It's whatever you have to do for your team to win hockey games and to win series because it takes what 16 to win the whole thing. It's tough.
Speaking of rule changes, and we didn't mention this in our football segment, but there's a lot of different things going on with the kickoff, and you have to run it back, and you can't call fair play. But we'll get more. I totally forgot to bring that up, and now I don't want to go backwards. But
We'll see that. We'll put that one in the vault for
Yeah.
like a day where we're like nothing.
And for some reason, we never have nothing. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a little break. Once again, thanking the Oaks Tavern. We're in East Greenwich. It's the oldest pub in the state. I think it's the oldest pub in New England. I think it's the oldest pub, honestly, in the world. And we're just gonna go with that because why wouldn't they believe us? And we want to thank them. We're here live. It is Saturday, March 23rd. We're gonna thank the rest of our sponsors, and then we're gonna come right back because we're gonna kick things off with birthdays.
Keeping score with Jess and Dean the Dream, sponsored by
Generations Adult Day Health Center. Generations is a day facility in Smithfield that provides services to meet the needs of adults with disabilities and the elderly. Their staff provides a range of adult day health services, such as case management, nursing, healthcare, nutrition, and more. At Generations, you're taken care of with registered nurses, certified nursing assistants, and plenty of direct care support staff on the floors at all times. With nearly 30,000 square feet of space, the state-of-the-art facility includes an open dining room, spacious physical and occupational therapy suites, a fully equipped gym and exercise room, and a TV movie theater, just to name a few. To find out more, visit generationsri.com. That's generationsri.com. Prout Mechanical in Providence, a family-owned and operated business. They provide HVAC installations, replacements, and maintenance services. They also offer indoor quality services to make sure that your home remains healthy and safe. They have licensed and trained technicians to keep up with industry standards and technology. They're also an authorized Mitsubishi Electric Diamond Elite contractor, so they can provide the best heating and cooling solutions. So get in touch with them today. Visit ProutHVAC.com. That's ProutHVAC.com, or call them at 487-4343 for a free estimate. It's the hidden gem in the historic district of East Greenwich, the Oaks Tavern on Duke Street, a laid-back, welcoming atmosphere with some of the lowest drink prices in town. Described as a grade A dive bar, complete with free pool, a jukebox, air hockey, and a great place to meet after work. It's a place where the staff treats everyone like regulars, and regulars treat you like family. Visit the last hometown tavern in East Greenwich. Check out the Oaks Tavern, serving cold beer since 1896.
We are back live at the Oaks Tavern in East Greenwich, keeping score live, our first broadcast. This is fun. It's going well.
I think so.
And we've actually behaved ourselves because we have yet to have a drink, so that's good.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. But it is motivation because we got 23 minutes left. And we're going to kick things off this break with birthdays. Do you want me to start singing? Happy birthday
This
to
is a
you.
lot right
Happy
here.
birthday to you.
All right.
Happy birthday, dear. Who?
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, for March 23rd. Can't wait until we get back in the studio next week. We could just can it, but no. All right, here's what I got for birthdays on March 23rd.
Okay.
Moses Malone.
Oh, nice. The mailman.
That would be Carl Malone. I love you. I love you to
Moses
death.
is the
Okay,
other one.
I love you.
The older one.
Moses Malone. He came out of the ABA.
Yeah,
he's back just when one of the first guys to skip college. Well, now it's commonplace now, but back when you had to at least go to school. Nobody came right from high school right to the pros.
Be cool, stay in school.
He went right to the ABA and then had a great career in the NBA. Passed away in 2015. Moses Malone, a 12-time All-Star, scored almost 30,000 points in the NBA, and on a Hall of Fame MVP in 79 and 83. And I remember the 82-83 season where the Celtics were right in the middle, like it was Celtics-Lakers every year.
Yeah.
But that was the one year they were just better than the Celtics. They just got Moses in a trade from Houston. He came over and played with Julius Erving, who was aging at the time, and they took the league by storm, and they blew through everybody, eliminated the Celtics, went on to play the Lakers in the final, and swept Magic in the Lakers. Moses Malone was the reason. It was like he had one more monster year in his prime, and that was it. And the Sixers got an NBA title out of it. And Dr. J finally got his NBA title to validate his career. He won a couple in the ABA. But Moses Malone, one of the great centers of all time. I'd put him in the top 10 or 15 centers of all time.
You said he had 30,000 points. I took 30,000 shots.
Oh, bull hogging it over here.
Not alcohol, surprisingly. I'm talking about when I played basketball.
Mix in a pass once in a while. How
whatever.
about one that's an active coach right now? How about Jason Kidd? He's 51.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Jason Kidd, a 10-time All-Star, Hall of Fame point guard, and, of course, NBA title with Dirk Nowitzki in the 2011 season with the Dallas Mavericks. Jason Kidd, one of the purest point guards of all time. I'm not saying he's Magic, but he's that next tier. There weren't many like him. He came out of the University of California. He's a terrific, terrific point guard. Not the greatest shooter, but one of the great distributors of all time.
Okay, I like to distribute.
And he's still coaching the Mavs.
Yeah, I know.
He's there coaching, a couple of guys that they're doing okay. Well, speaking of the Mavs, and a guy that I don't think that many people are going to go crazy for, but Kyrie Irving is 32 today, okay?
Oh, my God. I thought he was older than that.
Yeah, so he's been around for a while. Well, don't forget, 1 year at Duke, number one pick in the 2011 draft by the Cleveland Cavaliers. And say whatever you want about LeBron coming back to Cleveland and getting the championship. It was Kyrie who hit the big shot versus Golden State to get them over the hump. I believe it was 2016. Kyrie Irving, we can't argue with the talent. I don't know if he wants to drop Sage or whatever else he's doing. Not the greatest guy, not a guy you want in your locker room, but he can play basketball.
No, he's talented.
I don't know if you saw the highlight last week of a buzzer beater he hit with his left hand from 17 feet.
Really?
I don't know if it was a prayer, if he meant it, but it went in. They won the game, and watch out for them in the playoffs. If him and Luka, they look like they're clicking pretty good. Kyrie's been pretty quiet this year and, hasn't blown that locker room up yet. They're pretty good. So Kyrie
Maybe
Irving.
he's just getting older. That's
he's
why.
just getting old.
He doesn't have time for this malarkey.
He's maturing. All right, I've got one on the singing side.
Okay.
I can just imagine you're going to sing a song for
Celine
me.
Dion.
Shaka Khan is 71.
I feel for you.
This is a lot
Think
right
I
here.
love you.
Just keep DJing. Singing, I don't know about. Maybe Little Jess, I don't know.
No, neither one of us are singers.
Oh, wow. She's like, what?
No, I can't. And I do all the wrong words. So
Okay, and one legendary movie was released today in 1990. Pretty Woman.
I was going to say Pretty Woman. How stupid.
Pretty
That's
Woman.
great.
Yep, with Richard Gere.
Yeah, it's
and,
a beautiful story about a prostitute.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's how it all works out. That's exactly. It is. We love that story, but you think about it, it's just like, oh, he paid for a hooker, and then be like, oh, that just worked out great.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
I'm going to climb up that ladder, but I'm afraid of heights.
I mean, I don't know how careful I have to be here, but I know you always try to rein me in. But, like, listen, if we're just talking about a movie, but if, he's a better man than me. I couldn't have, the way it ended, I couldn't have done that. I mean, I could have done the initial part of it, but I don't think I could have, like.
You would have paid.
I never have. Well, we're always paying. We're always paying no matter what. But I'm saying to, like, settle down and say, yeah, I love, no. I've never been able to get past
because,
it.
I mean, you couldn't go down the street with it. She'd be like, I know him.
She's not getting homemade raviolis at Mommy's on Sunday. I can promise you that, okay?
Vivian was around the block. But once you took that wig off.
And those are my birthdays for March
It would
23rd.
never. No, we're getting the bars feeling it. They know exactly what was going on. That would definitely not happen with this guy. Cranston's small enough. All right, so let's get into. I know you're upset about PC. You're upset not to the fact that they lost. It was because it was. I believe you texted me gaff. Did you say it was gaff?
Yeah,
You want to take a moment to collect your thoughts about this?
That's kind of one of my terms, but I how do I say this? I want to feel like I was actually over the fact that they didn't get in. I told you they were going to have to win at least 2.
Yep.
It turns out I think they had to win 4, which means they would have had to run the table.
Yeah, they would have had to do that.
I don't think a Marquette win last Friday even got them in. They were so far off the radar from the selection committee, and we didn't take into consideration, although I did mention it during the course of the, before the tournaments, that you get teams that, like, pull it out of the fire, like NC State, Jess. They had no shot.
Yeah.
They go into the ACC tournament and they win 5 in 5 days. That's going to bump someone else off.
Yeah.
But I came out of this actually feeling worse. I told you I was proud of this team after even losing to Marquette. But then all the stuff that happened with the NIT, I felt worse for the conference because I felt like they were disrespected to only get 3 teams. Those 3 teams are all in the top 10 in the country.
Yeah.
So, like, you had to battle those teams and play them twice a year. So
Right, which would be a harder schedule.
I felt like, take away PC for a second. How about Seton Hall? They won 13 games in conference. They didn't go. Patino didn't get a bid. But now I felt like as the week went on, I'm sour now because I just feel like the way the season ended, you went to the NIT where it looked like you just winged it. You didn't want to be there.
No.
Devin
And it was at home, by the way.
Devin Cotter, I've got a lot of, Devin Cotter, a lot of people, disagree with me. They feel like, why should he play? He's thinking about the NBA. It's just like, you're in college as a team. This kind of reeks more of what you see in college football back in the day when, like, some of those, now if you're not in the football playoff, if you're in some of those lame bowls like the Blockbuster Bowl, the kids are pulling out.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, years ago.
I hope all the kids are pulling.
This is graphic. I actually think your buddy.
Kids having kids.
I could be wrong, but I think about 10 years ago, your buddy Christian McCaffrey was one of the kids when he was at Stanford decided
Well,
not
he
to
got
play.
hurt a lot.
I get it. So football's different. What
Yeah.
I'm saying, but from what I'm hearing, Devin Carter's agent, and who thought we'd be in an age where we were saying, agent, you're in college, but because of the NIL money, you are allowed to pay some of these kids. Carter is getting paid.
Yes.
But he was told by his agent, I heard, after it said that night, Devin Carter out with injury. He wasn't hurt.
Yeah.
He didn't play because his agent didn't want him to play because he's gone. I told you he's gone. So he's not
but
coming
we
back
knew
to play.
that, and we're
I
happy
know.
for him. He deserves it.
I know.
He can't come back and.
I get it. It just leaves a sour taste the way the season ended. You hosted Boston College, a former Big East
Yeah, I
team,
know.
and you shanked it at home. It looked like there was no energy there. They were just going through the motions.
No, they weren't going through the motions. They just don't have talent.
There was a talent issue there.
Yeah. How was Ticket Games that game?
No, he's
Ticket Games?
pretty bad. Take the mask off now.
Yeah,
do something. I don't know.
Literally, just he can't hit a shot like into the ocean. Like
mean-
he can't hit water.
I mean, Helen
from a
Keller
boat.
had a better shot. I mean, I'm
Yes.
just saying. I mean, what are you doing over here?
It was bad. He
No,
couldn't
it was
hit
bad.
anything.
It was bad. That game against Marquette, he was like 0 for 9 from the field.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And he didn't do much better against Boston College.
No.
But just the way the season, and of course,
They keep shooting, not him.
Stop
Please
shooting.
stop.
Stop shooting.
I don't even care if
But
you're
the,
open.
the Friars finished the season at 21-14. Still actually a good season overall, Jess. A little disappointed the way it ended. And now you start to see now with the transfer portal, you never know when guys are going to stay or go. go.
Yeah.
And it looks like Galway Dual, who was hyped up to be the next coming of Michael Cooper with the 7'2" wingspan. He averaged 3 points a game. He enters the portal. Bye.
Yeah.
Like these kids, Donovan Santoro, he played like 12 minutes the whole year. Bye.
Yeah.
These kids are already leaving. So you never know who's coming back with this portal thing. Guys can just, leave. You got to be ready. Kim English has to be on the trail and being ready to bring new players in because that's the way of the world now is to go to that portal and hit it hard.
Is Oduro out?
He's gone.
Yeah.
He's a graduate. He wasn't even actually considered a senior. He was a
that's right.
graduate. So ticket's gone. Oduro's gone. Hopefully you get
Adios.
Hopefully you get Pierre back at the point. He has to clean it up a little bit with his ball handling.
He does.
Costly turnovers late in games.
Yeah, the end of the last thing he goes when they could have won.
When everything was on the line, but okay. But no, he's
Not a highlight reel.
He had
moment.
some moments though. He did play well at
Yes,
times.
he
so I
did. He
think
had
you'd
15
agree.
or 19 points
yes,
the
he
game
did.
before.
So you bring him back with Rich Barron, who I think could be a nice shooting guard for them next year.
Yes.
You bring Barron back. Carter's gone. Hopkins is never sniffing it again.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to retool that roster and bring it. You're gonna have to hit the portal real hard. And I think Kim English, he'll get it done.
And I think people will want to play for him.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised with Dual because Dual said he liked being coached by him and he likes being coached hard. And they're talking about Dual was thinking about the NBA. You average 3.3 points a game. I don't care about your wingspan. I don't care if you have a 7'2" wingspan. Put the ball in the cup. I just don't
It's
get it.
really only one goal, honestly. It's 4 points win, defense.
I thought that was the goal, other than when I saw the playing game the other night with Virginia. They had 14 points at halftime.
Oh, my God.
And it's funny, Tony Bennett, not the
They
singer.
said it was a rock fight or something.
Not the singer, God rest his soul, but
Yeah.
Tony Bennett, the coach of Virginia. He's been doing this for years with ugly offense. He won a national championship 4 years ago. I don't know how
What was the
he gets it
final
done.
score, 30 to
12
29?
12 to 11. It was like watching Hoosiers at Hinkle Fieldhouse. It was brutal. Hey, you know what's funny?
What?
The whole thing with the NIT, it looks like it's lost any kind of buzz or any cachet. They don't even play the Final Four anymore at Madison Square Garden. They play it at where I just said Hinkle Fieldhouse where Butler plays.
Oh, really?
So I don't know how many. I don't know. Its capacity
It's
is
an
like
outdoor-
12 people. All right? So it's tough.
That's
but
how,
again,
that's how many people care.
well, there's
The parents,
That's how many
some
people are
siblings.
in that city. We're in Indiana. I mean, it's like Larry Bird, the hit from French Lick.
Yeah.
So, but it just looks like the NIT's lost its lust. So it's like I could see almost why a guy like Patino says, you know what, we're not even going to take the invite. But I think it was the right thing for Kim English to go. I was a little disappointed with the Carter thing. Not saying I'm against him for doing that, but it just left a sour taste in my mouth.
I know, but I can understand why he wouldn't want to do it. Like, what was the point of that? They weren't in the tournament. They weren't in a real tournament.
So he would have risked it if they made the NCAA tournament, but not the NIT.
Yes, because
then
I think
don't take the invite. Then what's the
well,
point?
I mean, it's not up to Carter to take the invitation or not. It's about the coach, and he probably said, "Well, let's see what these kids can do without him. This could be my season next year," and they suck.
Well, we've been saying it for 3 months. After those two guys, Odero and Carter, we know the roster was pretty much like, overglorified swill. We kidding here. Well, let's hope that we hit the portal and, a couple of good freshmen coming in next year. We'll get things, obviously it proves win more games because the Big East obviously needs to win more games. It looks like it's a little top heavy with UConn, Marquette, and Creighton.
Yeah. And speaking of UConn, so let's get into the madness because honestly, we only have about 6 minutes left because I have to throw in some audio clips.
Oh, chopping the time over
we
here.
got 6 minutes, but as you said, it's your favorite time of year, so I filled up my brackets for money, and I do. If you had to pick anyone to win the whole thing, I know you're not a gambling guy, but who do you like the most to win the tournament?
I mean, maybe I'm biased because I watched UConn so much this year because they're in the Big East, so I probably saw Hurley's team run out there about 20 times, and I just think with Klingon down low, the kid Tristan Newton at the point, I think they're better than they were last year. They blew everybody out to run through 6 games last year. You need good backcourt play in the tournament, and they have it with Newton and the kid Stefan Castle. I love backcourts. Good backcourts in the tournament win. I think they're the favorite to me. There's a bunch of teams I like. I like Iowa State.
Okay.
I like them. They're a team that can make some noise. Obviously, you saw Coach Callen and Kentucky get bounced by Oakland. That was crazy.
A lot of people had him in the Final Four, not me.
And I don't know if you can bet on this, but look for the rumor to come out. I know he's got $33 million left on his contract. I'm not saying they're going to fire him, but if the boosters start giving him a hard time over there, look for that Michigan job that just opened when Juwan Howard got fired. You're at least going to hear the rumor. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but stay tuned for that. But Houston's a great.
Yep,
They're
Houston,
a really
I got
good team
going.
under Kelvin Sampson.
Yep.
They're a team that can cut the nets down. Tennessee with Rick Bonds, he just doesn't seem to get it done in the postseason.
Oh, see, I have him in the finals.
He's allergic to winning in March, but they did win their
Poor timing.
They did win their first game, and the kid Dalton Connect. Watch him; he can shoot the ball.
They looked good.
He can shoot it from the hash mark. The kid's terrific. He can really stroke it. So there are a few good teams, and of course, you got a lot of those teams. North Carolina, Duke, they're in there. You got those blue blood programs. Kansas is always in the mix. So there's a lot of teams that can get it done. I love the Yale upset. Yale beat Auburn.
Not me, because I didn't pick Yale, because Brown beat them twice or at least they beat them this year.
Well, didn't Yale
they beat them
in the
second,
tournament?
I know,
or else Brown would have been in the tournament. And then
I
they go
know.
as a number 14 seed, and they beat the 3. So
I know,
that's
that
what the tournament's all about. A 13 beats a 4. I thought that was great. So it's just fun. I just like to see upsets. I like to see different teams. We're looking at Arizona right now, up 5 with 9 minutes to go.
Ooh,
under Tommy Lloyd. They're a team that can make some noise. They win this game, they're in the Sweet 16. They could be playing on April 8th, I believe it is.
Well, because we are airing this on Sunday, we are actually broadcasting live from the Oaks Tavern in East Greenwich on Saturday. But because it is Sunday on the air on 790 The Score, I do want to give Godson's picks for today's games for the NCAA tournament. He has Texas A&M getting 10. He has the Grand Canyon, or just Grand Canyon, not the Grand Canyon. I don't know how much playing time the Grand Canyon got. +6, and Baylor giving 4.5. So if you want to do a parlay on that, that's Godson's games of the day for the tournament.
I like that because Baylor's coached by Scott Drew. His brother Bryce Drew coaches the Grand Canyon team.
No.
Yes, and his brother Bryce Drew is the kid that hit the 3 for Valparaiso about 25 years ago. The prayer to win the game versus Ole Miss.
You lost me.
So I know.
Yeah,
well,
you know those things.
Stick with me,
You're good.
My boy Mikey at the bar, he's a big Tom Izzo guy. He's a big Michigan State guy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're going to cut the nets down, but they're always a team that wins at least a couple, and they won their opening round game.
I know.
So I like what Godson's doing. Texas A&M kind of snuck into the tournament, but it's all about just getting in the dance if you're playing well at the right time.
All right, so we're wrapping things up here at the Oaks Tavern. Do you want to talk Dynasty quick? Do you want to have Dave on? Do you want to say bye to Steve?
I'd love to have Dave on. I don't think he wants any part of it.
Do you want to come in at
toast.
all, or no? You don't want to say anything?
No, Dave, you're good.
No,
you're good.
never mind. You're good.
What do I always tell you at the trot? Stay in your lane, know your strengths. That's what we do. That's how we roll here. But we covered all the bases.
I like that he's wearing the merch.
No,
though.
he's all over it.
Yeah.
We're going to miss Steve. Steve's going.
Steve, you're the best.
Steve's going.
Yeah, but luckily he is actually very close to the radio station. So if we do have to abduct him in some capacity, I know where to go. You don't. I'd have to have you come with me.
That's a lot.
We barely got to the road show. Okay.
Late innings here on keeping score.
Queen Street is right off of Main Street in East Greenwich, and he had to do a drive-by to make sure he knew where the bar was today. So this is our first broadcast. I think we did pretty well. Mama G, we should have Mama G on. We should have Mama G. Come on, everyone wants to meet who Mama G is, because we got 48 seconds.
She can have my mic.
Mama G. Look at Mama G. What did you think of the show today?
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
You
What
a
did we
great
talk
job.
about?
We talked about drinking and at a bar.
Yeah, very good.
No, I listened. We
Yeah,
talked
good.
about all sports.
Yes, very.
Yes.
Yeah, I would hope so. Good job, Mama.
And
Yeah.
at the Oak Tavern.
Yeah, very nice. And she's trying to take our
Beautiful bar.
job now. Yeah. All right. What are you drinking? Are you going to have a drink now because
Yes,
the show's
I am.
over? What are you
I'm gonna
having?
Have an Amstel Light.
Oh, an Amstel Light from
No wine?
No.
Little early for wine? All right.
Yeah,
All right. Jess is going to put all the equipment away, and I'm going to go shag you an Amstel. How's that?
Very
We're going to get
nice.
Steve a Corona if they have it. We're just going to go with whatever they've
You
got.
have a Corona. Yeah, Dave is like, we got
Dave's
a Corona.
solid.
Yeah,
Dave's
he
solid.
He knows what's going on. But we want to thank everyone that came out. We want to,
Mike and
Dave,
Steph, my
everybody at the
friends.
bar.
Yes,
You're
everybody.
going to pay for everybody. Jen's
Yep.
going to get.
Yep.
Everybody's going
Yep.
to get a drink.
Yep.
But we want to thank Dave again. The Oaks Tavern, 103 Duke Street in East Greenwich. You want to get some good drinks on the cheap? This is the place to go. And once again, we want to thank Steve, and we'll be back in studio next week.
I'll see you.
Bye.